Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with the next beauty budget update. I'm going to discuss all of the products that I brought in the month of March, as well as where I am with my beauty budget points and basically how many products I'm allowed to buy for the next month. So without any further ado, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So before I jump into the actual points and the products that I bought in the month of March, I just want to briefly go over my rules. This product was very much inspired by Emily and Max, and it's just Steph. They both have done similar beauty budgets for the last couple of years, and yeah, I just want to join in this year because the last 2 years I've done a beauty budget or low buy. I have had a monetary value that I had to spend, or like not had to, but that I was allowed to spend, and this year I wanted to do it a bit differently because I do want to focus on emptying products and hitting pans and just getting used to all of the products I actually have in my collection. So the rules that I have currently is that if I finish 2 items, that allows me 1 point. If I hit 5 pans, that could be eyeshadow pans, pans in a blush, highlighter, any sort of pan, that also equals 1 point. If I declutter, I need to declutter 5 items in order for it to be 1 point. And those are the main ways I can allow myself to get points. So when I started the year, I started with 0 points in my budget. I know both Emily and Steph allow themselves a certain amount of points at the beginning of the year, but I decided to start at 0 and having to build up my inventory. So in January I started with 0 points. When it comes to what I'm allowed to buy, replacements are not included in the beauty budget, so if I do need to buy replacements, that is not, it's not a point. I actually have 1 replacement this month, which I'm going to discuss later. I also previously have bought things like a brow gel, which I was out of completely, so that was not included in my beauty budget. Loose powder, also not included. So a replacement needs to be something that I'm completely out of. It can't be like a product specific, like in the sense of the brand or the the specific product. So for example, if I run out of my favorite foundation, if I need to buy that again, that's not a replacement because I will most likely have other foundations in my collection, if that makes sense. Also, since I buy a lot of singles, and also I feel like with singles the points can stack up rather quickly, I have decided that if I want to buy singles, 10 singles equals 1 point, and I think that's fair compared to like the palettes, because obviously a palette would be 1 point as well, and like I think on average most of my palettes have about like 15 shades in them, so I thought 10 singles would be fair for 1 point. When it comes to lip products, I need to use up 2 lip products in order to buy another one, and that is just because I'm focusing this year on downsizing my lip product collection. So I can buy lip products, but I need to have specifically 2 lip product empties in order to be able to buy one of those. And then the last rule I have is I want to buy max 3 single blushes, and that is because again I have so many blushes in my collection and I just want to kind of get that down. I'm working on finishing 2 blushes this year, and it would be nice not to like increase my numbers too much, and that's why I put in max 3 single blushes. So when I ended February, I had 2 points that I had kind of gotten over the last 2 months, and I had used 2, so that means that I had 0 points going into March. And yeah, like I said, I had 0 points, but in the month of March I actually did finish some products, and I did hit some pans as well. I actually had a pretty good month when it comes to earning points. I had an additional 4 empties, which gave me 2 points, and then I hit 8 pans, and previously I had 4 pans already hit, so that adds up to 12, which means that I added another 2 points from hitting pan as well. So I added 4 points back into my beauty bank in the month of March, and I actually only used 1 point, which is really good. So let me now go into what I actually purchased in the month of March. Like I said, I only used 1 point, and I also have mentioned that replacement, so not too many things to mention, but I will go through them. So I'm not going to do these in chronological order. I'm just going to go kind of with the most boring one first, because I don't know, I want to get it out of the way, and that is the replacement. What I bought is a new concealer, and this one is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 03. This is a very, very light concealer, as you can see. And yes, I'm not completely out of concealers at the moment, but I'm out of light concealers that match me at the moment. So I do have a couple, I think maybe like 5 concealers in my collection, but they all are mid-tone, so they work right now, for example, as like a face concealer for me because they match my face. But when it comes to my under eyes, I want that concealer to be like about 2 shades at least lighter than my skin tone. You can see this one is very much lighter than my skin tone. I probably wouldn't have bought it as light. I might have gotten like 1 shade up, but I just didn't want to buy another one that was too deep to use underneath my eyes, and that's why I went with this one. So I was out of something that was brightening underneath my eyes, and that's why I'm calling this a replacement, because yeah, I had no concealers that I could use under my eyes. It's similar to when I bought my loose powder replacement. Yes, I had powders in my collection, but I didn't have a specific use for like a loosening palette, for example, to set my under eyes. So that is why this is a replacement and not a point. If I already had a light concealer like this in my collection, then yes, it would have been a point, but in this case, since I did not have an under eye concealer that I could use at the moment, that is why this one was a replacement. This one is really nice. It's actually what I'm wearing underneath my eyes today. It's very nice, very brightening. It's not too heavy either, which I like. I used this ages ago, like years ago, and I was looking for something because recently I have issues with my under eyes looking quite cakey and dry. I think maybe it's because I'm getting older, but also because of the seasons. My skin has been really dry recently, and I think it's because it's going between hot and cold so often. Like we actually had snow yesterday. Like it didn't settle, but it was snowing a bit yesterday, and I live in central London and it barely ever snows here. But yeah, it was really cold yesterday. But then the weekend before, I was out and it was like 17 degrees Celsius. I was out in like a short sleeve dress, sitting in the sun, like having brunch, and like I was like, this is like spring going on to summer. So yeah, that was just a week apart, and yeah, the weather is definitely very all over the place at the moment. So I think that's why my skin is so dry, and that's also I think why my makeup is a bit like more crusty, especially underneath my eyes. So I just wanted like a lighter concealer that isn't too heavy, and that's why I decided to go with this one, and I do like it so far. Again, you can see it underneath my eyes. It's, like I said, maybe it's shade too light for me, but if worse comes to worse, I do, like I said, have deeper concealers, so I can always mix it with those if I need to. So then for the actual point that I use, I picked up a palette, and this palette I waited so long to get because I picked this up from the website. You're gonna know which one in a second, and they had some delays because they were switching warehouse, I believe, so it took a whole week to dispatch, which is a long time. And after that, I was waiting for my tracking. It shipped, everything was fine, and then it was supposed to be delivered on the Friday. I think it shipped on the Wednesday, and it was supposed to be delivered on the Friday, but then it said delayed, like delivery cannot be attempted, whatever. We will attempt again in the next working day, and that was always a Saturday. So I was like, okay, let's just wait until Monday because nothing happened on the Saturday, and I was like, let's just wait until Monday because, you know, they might not be delivering on the weekend. Monday came, no delivery attempt, no update, absolutely nothing, and I was like, wait a minute, this is not all okay, like something's probably going on with this parcel. I also used to work in logistics, like I used to work in a customer service department, so I know what tracking means, I know all of that kind of stuff. So I was like, this is not right. So I waited again this Monday, and then Tuesday morning I messaged the customer service. I waited a day, and on Wednesday they messaged me back saying my parcel was damaged. So nothing. That was 2 weeks after I placed my order. So yeah, basically then they refunded me because they could not deliver my parcel, and then I had to place another order, and that one took I think 6 days to get to me, so much faster luckily. But I waited 3 weeks to get this palette, and the website I ordered, like I waited for like indie shadows and stuff for like 6 months in the past, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to take that long. So it was such a pain waiting for this palette, but I'm so happy I did, and I'm so happy I picked this up, and that I placed that second order and didn't use to give up, because I love this palette so far. I haven't used it on my eyes yet, but I swatched it. I actually only got this like 2 days ago, I think. So I haven't played around with it on my eyes, but I swatched everything out, and it's so pretty. And the palette that I'm talking about is the Beauty Bay Love Notes palette. This has very mixed reviews on like the internet. Some people love it, some people think it's too light, and I am on the kind of edge of liking it. Like, I mean, I haven't played around with it on my eyes, but I love the color story, and I feel like it always shows up lighter on camera than it is. Like if I do this, it looks very light, but if you can see, if I like tilt it, it's not as light as it seems. But this is beautiful. I love the color story. I love like these pinky tones, the like the purples. I just love the color story in here, and I don't really have a color story like this apart from my Norvina palette, which leans more neutral, I would say. And the shimmers are the absolutely amazing Beauty Bay formula. I mean, you can look at the shimmer right here. You can see how like bright that is. Like, it's just so reflective, so stunning. And yeah, I absolutely love them. From swatching them out, again, I haven't worn them on my eyes. The shimmer in Cupid, I think, is the only one. It's a bit more kind of satiny, but the rest of the shimmers in this palette is very much Beauty Bay's absolutely stunning formula. So I'm so happy that I did pick this up, and it's like a palette perfect for me, I would say, because I love these tones. And I don't necessarily go for much like really deep looks, although I went for a bit of a deeper look today. I did top it with a glitter though, so it did brighten it up quite a lot. But yeah, I'm not one to go for really smoky eyes. Like, if I want to go for an everyday look for videos and stuff, I do that, but day to day I don't like going super deep. So I am very excited to play around with this palette. And yeah, I got this also with a discount code. I think I had 20% off, so I think I only paid like $12.50-ish for it. So very good value, and I'm so excited to have this in my collection. It is a stunning palette, and yeah, I just can't wait to play around with it. And it's funny because when I showed my boyfriend this palette, he's like, oh, that looks like a princess palette, which is very much the case. I think this looks very much like a princess palette with a sense of like the purples and the pinks. But yeah, I think it's going to be really nice to play with. I think the tones are going to be perfect for spring. I did actually film top 5 videos for spring last weekend that I pre-filmed, which is going up later in April. But this one would definitely have been one that I would have included in there if I had it, because I think it's definitely a perfect palette for spring with like these kind of pastel tones, the like pinky, the purple, like I said. So yeah, I love this palette so far, and I can't wait to play around with this. So those were the only things that I bought in March, and like I said, I had 4 empties and 8 pans, which is a pretty good month. I am really happy with that, to be honest. I don't know how many empties I'm gonna have in April. I finished up quite a few products that I was close to. All 4 of those were things that I expected to finish. So we'll see, maybe I have like 1 or 2 empties this month, but I don't think it's going to be very empties heavy. So I think in order to get points in April, I'll probably have to focus on hitting pan. And like I said, I'm currently on 12 pans, so in order to get another point I need to just hit 3 more pans, which should hopefully not be too difficult. So just to sum up where I'm starting April, currently this year so far I have earned 6 points, and I have used 3 points out of those. So I do have 3 points currently starting in April, which is really good. I'm not expecting to use all of those points now in April or anything, but I do want to kind of build up my budget so that I have more points. Like, I just want to get my bank going, because I know like when things like Black Friday comes around, big sales, I will probably use a lot of points all in one go. So that's why I'm building my budget up. So I'm really happy that I have 3 additional points at the end of March, and I am not really planning to buying too many things in April. There's one thing that I want to pick up that I might even place an order today for, actually, that I was looking at yesterday. So that's gonna be 1 point gone. But other than that, I'm not really eyeing anything specific. I mean, there's always makeup that I want to buy, but I'm trying to keep restraints on myself and not buy everything that I want, and this Beauty Buddy is really helping with that. So I don't think there's anything necessarily that I really want to pick up. There is a brand I want to pick up from, but in order to do that, I know I need to build up my Beauty budgets quite a bit. So yeah, we just have to wait and see how it goes. But so far I'm pretty happy with this budget. But that, you guys, was it for my video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you're doing a low buy, let me know how you're doing down below. And other than that, I really hope you're having a lovely day, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.